It's 10 minutes after 8 o'clock. It's Island Tea. We are Island Tea. It's Monday, May 8th, 2023. And our hosts are my co-hosts. Little under the weather. So it's Jamster and Shari for today. Good morning.
Morning. How you doing, Jamster?
I'm doing good.
Had a good weekend?
Yeah. Ate a lot of mangoes.
Oh, well, it has to be good. Hello. Good morning, everybody, and hopefully you had a good weekend as well. Welcome to Island Tea. We have our normal show today, so we will be having Traffic Talk at 8:30 this morning. So get your questions ready. When the time comes, you just call in and participate in that particular show. I know that it's a very interactive show. And people always have a lot of things to say and share, and sometimes gripe about. So get your questions ready, and of course, call in when the time does come. So over the weekend, did you do anything special besides eating mangoes, Jamstone?
Well, what else did I do?
It sounds like nothing.
I washed the mangoes before I ate them.
Wow. Okay. You washed the mangoes. Let's see what happened over the weekend. I enjoyed myself as much as I possibly can. I would say.
I watched a lot of track and field, actually.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I watched the Doha Diamond League where...
Sha'Carri Richardson actually,
actually
won the race. What, 10.76, I think?
10 point, yeah, something like that. And Sharika was second, but that doesn't mean anything this early in the season. No, I'm serious.
So you said that doesn't mean anything.
But in the sense that the Jamaicans tend to pace their peaking so that they peak much earlier in the season. Because remember, World Championships is in July. Is it July or August? I think it's July. Yeah. No, August, I think.
Okay.
And the Americans tend to peak a lot earlier. So, yeah, and Sharika's time was great. I think she ran 10.82 or something.
Gotcha.
And then, Saturday, they had the Adidas, which, actually, I was looking at that. I watched it on YouTube. It's the Atlanta Street Games. It's sponsored by Adidas. So what they do is, the idea is to bring track and field to the people. So they set it up in the Atlanta Olympic Park. Where they, that park that they made for the Olympic Stadium back in '96. So they had a 150-meter track, and they had the longer races. Part of them were on the road, and then they ended on the 150-meter track. It was actually pretty interesting. So there's a lot of trees around. The track was elevated. Really good times. We had two Jamaicans. We had Oblique Civil, who the Jamaicans are touting as maybe
the next big thing.
Yes. Well, they have a lot of the next big things. There's Akeem Blake as well, who's running well. So it was pretty good. So I did that. Spent Saturday afternoon watching that.
Cool. And I got up way too early on Saturday morning. I actually set my alarm clock at 5, and I was like, you know what, child, could wait a little longer. So 5:30. And the reason why I got up that early, people are like, really, you watched the coronation? Yes, I watched the coronation for historical purposes. I have never seen one.
I studiously decided not to watch that.
I understand why you wouldn't want to watch that, but I didn't want anybody telling me about how it went. I needed to see that for myself.
So what was it like?
Well, it rained.
It rained?
It rained on his parade. But see what I did there?
I see what you did.
It rained. It was, listen, when that carriage came out, I think it was gold filled. I don't think it was actually gold, like full on heavy, gold.
I think it was just so weird. I think it's actually gold.
It was just so weird to see something so ornate.
That's what thieves do. I mean, they just when they get stuff without really working.
Can I finish my thought?
Go ahead.
There you go. So what I was saying is, it was a little weird to see something so ornate in the streets of London, where everything else is, pretty much modern. Yeah. So it was a weird yes, because everything is like gray and white, and then it was overcast, so that it made the gold stand out more. Anyways, they came out in their well, they were robed after they actually got crowned and all that officially. It was an interesting, I guess you could say, ceremony, I guess I could call it, service thing. Because I watched The Crown and I saw a reenactment of what happens during the actual coronation in terms of where they section off the area where he is to then do the anointing. So they did the same thing. I'm like, oh, so yeah, that's definitely a tradition. One interesting thing to me is that they had a bunch of symbolic items that needed to be, I guess, acknowledged and touched during the ceremony. Also, like a ring, there was a stirrup apparently that was there since 1192. I'm like, wow, that stirrup is hella old. hella old. But then the Stone of Destiny, that's a whole other thing. That was there since 1292, which was actually stolen. That's another story as well, and incorporated into the coronation ceremony. There's that. Should I say stolen or taken? Is taken the right word and not necessarily stolen?
Stolen.
The Stone of Destiny?
All of the above.
I guess I could say that.
All of the above.
But yeah, it was interesting. Of course, after he got crowned, I completely lost interest because Camilo.
What?
As a Diana fan, I completely lost interest.
I saw on Twitter how they were talking about they put Harry to sit behind Princess Anne.
Yeah,
and basically a feather, his hat, her hat, and a feather was blocking his.
Well,
they think it was deliberate.
To be fair, I've seen her in that outfit before. When her mother passed, she also wore the same thing, the same hat, and everybody was wearing their costumes, I guess you could call it.
But directly behind, but
it's not like his face is that slim that a feather is gonna block his entire face. That's not the case.
But you have to be like this, right? Like.
No, but then he didn't need to be. And then he we saw him sit there with everybody else. He was with one of his cousins. He was mainly talking to the husband because his cousin was on the other side of her husband. And they seemed to be having a okay enough time. He came, he saw, and he left. And for me, it's a little amazing because you would think, this particular family in the spotlight. No, they're just like everybody else. They got issues. I don't like you. You don't like me. We good. We gonna do stuff to save face and then move on.
Except when you're that rich.
It doesn't. That's
notorious,
the thing. That's the thing, though. That's the thing. It doesn't matter whether you're rich or you're poor.
No, but
it doesn't matter.
Then the problems are on steroids as well.
Well, I don't know if
they're commensurate with their station in life, right? Wouldn't you say?
Listen. If it's one thing I realize or I have realized is that humans are humans. It doesn't matter what station you're at.
To nicer people.
It doesn't matter. They have other people out there probably going through the same thing. Maybe not the exact same thing, but I'll show up because we have something going on, but that don't mean I like you and that don't mean you like me. So, and then other instances you skip because, I really don't want to deal with them today. I mean, that's human nature. Regardless of if you got money, if you're poor, if you're middle income, it don't matter. It does not matter. But that was some of my takeaways. I didn't really care to see them after they got crowned. What I did do, though, is watch some of the procession, the military procession afterward to hear the matching band. They were very on point. I always like to hear a good band playing music. I was a little bit nostalgic as well because I don't know, for some of our older listeners and maybe persons my age, did I just lump myself with everybody else? I don't know. But every 7:30 a.m., ZIZ used to play marching band music, almost like clockwork.
They don't do that anymore.
They don't do that anymore. But one of the songs that they played, I actually remembered from my childhood. Because by 7:30, you had to be getting ready to go out the door to go to school. Yeah. So when I heard it, I'm like, hey, I recognize that one. It was
yeah,
cool.
That happens to me from time to time.
It was cool. And of course, men in uniform, what can I say? Can't go wrong with that.
I'm not trying to perpetuate
it's not a matter of perpetuating. It's about an appreciation for music.
I know.
That's all I'm saying. So you always tend to go to the negative side. You just can't say.
I'm just saying. I'm not trying to perpetuate. I'm not trying to perpetuate their cultural tropes because It's all part of this Stockholm syndrome this syndrome that we suffer from around
It's a good
here.
thing I don't suffer from it.
Neither do I.
But you talk about it every chance you get. So it wonder
No,
have
because
you moved past it
no,
now? So you're
because
settled
most
in it.
people
Is
don't
all I'm
even
saying.
most people don't even know they suffer from it. 20 minutes after 8 o'clock.
And at 8:30 we have traffic
Island
talk.
tea.
We are Island Tea.
And she
Or
is
this
Shari.
is Island Tea.
She is Shari.
Yes, and I'm a little feisty because sometimes the
Yes.
road sometimes that you go down, I'm like, not really necessary, but okay. But I know you long enough now. I get it.
Okay, so 2 bodies found on a beach in St. Martin.
Oh dear.
Wow. Let's see what this is about. So police in St. Martin are investigating the discovery of 2 bodies at Guana Bay Beach. According to reports on Saturday, police received a call around 6:30 a.m. about a body floating at the beach. Upon arrival, officers observed a female body floating in the sea. The Coast Guard was immediately summoned to provide assistance. During their search and rescue operation, they discovered the body of a female victim and several personal items floating nearby. The Coast Guard retrieved the victim's body from the sea and promptly transported it to the Coast Guard station in Simpson Bay. So later in the morning, another call was received by Central Dispatch at approximately 10:30 a.m. The call alerted police to the presence of a male body, lying motionless on the sands of Guana Bay Beach. Detectives, forensic experts, and personnel from the prosecutor's office were dispatched to the scene to investigate the matter. So, I guess we're going to be hearing more on that because that story was just posted about a half an hour ago. Yes.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Really unfortunate.
Yeah. Wow. We're having all these this rash of people just dying on like in the sea or on the beach and
no.
and that's the second one in St. Martin.
Ruling out foul play.
Or the third one.
Ruling out foul play. I'm not a fan of the sea. I mean, it's beautiful. it's beautiful.
Not a fan of the sea?
No, I have issues when it comes to that. So no, I'm not a fan of the sea. I don't know how to swim, and you're like, what? You live on an island. How come you don't know how to swim? Yeah, I'm one of those people.
Yeah, that's one thing we need to change, though.
I agree.
As islanders, we should.
But I had a somewhat traumatic experience. Some idiot dragged me by my foot into the waves. And let me tell you, the rolling that happened afterward, trying to figure out where the heck I am, right? It was a lot. So that just kind of elevated my fear. Just even going on the pier to maybe go on a boat, that whole situation where the boat slowly drifts away from the pier and comes back. Yeah, that gives me anxiety. I don't like the sea. I really don't.
I know what you mean. And on a lighter note, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 opens to $114 million.
Is that good or bad? Because to me, honestly, I don't think
that sounds good to me.
It's decent, is it?
I'm
not even really a fan of the Guardians movies. Like not as hype about them as say some of the others.
Actually, that's I don't think that's the U.S. alone. So
that's worldwide.
Oh no! No, it is North America. Okay.
Oh, it's just
just North America.
I mean, I guess that's okay.
No, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not really.
No, it's saying here it's an impressive sum for any movie and slightly less than what we've come to expect from a Marvel opening, but that's pretty good. Last year on the same weekend, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, riding on the success of Spider-Man No Way Home, raked in it was that much, raked in $187.4 million in its first 3 days in North America, and in November, Black Panther what?
Well, Black Panther.
181. I didn't realize. What?
Yeah. Everybody was gonna go out and support Black Panther for the culture.
Well, 117 is still pretty respectable.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I just wonder when the push for having all Marvel comics on the cinema screen going to start waning. When is it going to start waning a little bit? It's like movie after movie after movie after movie.
Well, no. You know what? I remember as a kid, I used to read these comics. And then when I got old and I started thinking about movies probably when the Superman movies came out, I remember thinking, man, it'll be cool if we could actually get these things on the screen where and actually.
I got you.
And now we're at that point in history. So
No, I get it. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong, because I remember watching Superman with Christopher Reeves when I was a kid. My excitement though came for Transformers, because I'm like, how are they gonna pull that off from the cartoon?
Well, they did,
and they did, and I was like, yo, that
and
was
there's
really
a new
good.
one. There's a new one coming
and I don't
out.
think I need to see it.
Rise of the Beast.
I'm over it.
Rise of the Beast.
I don't need to see it. It's like there's some movies after a while you're like, you know what? Not really. Like Fast and the Furious 112. I don't need to see it anymore. I mean, people driving cars that go really fast. I don't need to see it anymore. I don't need to see it anymore.
And Dominica, wow. So Dominica, this is just in. Dominica rattled by early morning earthquake.
How big?
Let me see.
We had 4 or 5 earthquakes last, wasn't
an earthquake
Friday,
in
Thursday?
3.6. Yes.
That's in keeping with all the others that we've had as of late.
That was 1:46 a.m. this morning. So the quake struck Rosa Dominica, Pointe-à-Pitre, Guadeloupe, and Fort-de-France, Martinique. So I'm actually a little worried about this rash of earthquakes we've been having.
Like I said,
I remember, I don't know, it was you who said, when I expressed concern and someone said, well, they happen all the time. It's just that.
They do. I just don't expect 4 in like a day. That's all. And all of them have been 3.6. So, only one was 3.7.
Someone says we're probably due for a big one. So
let's not even talk about that. Let's not. Yeah.
Hey, you want to take a quick break? It's
Yeah, we can do that. No problem at all.
8:27.
8:27. The officers should be just around the corner for the show.
Yes, there will be.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Music's finest artists converge in Bastille from June 22nd to June 24th for the 25th hosting of the St. Kitts Music Festival. Hitting the festival main stage will be Skillybang, Chronix, Coffee, Byron Messiah, Anthony B, Governor, Romaine Virgo, TJ, Valiant.
Them boy don't got no body.
Grandmasters, Collision Band, Small X Band, New Vibes Band International, Mr. Bagdal, Akai You Sweet, Preedy, Guess the Band, Ricardo Drew, Patrice Roberts, Skinny Fabulous, Nyla Blackman, Status. Erica Edwards, 313 Family, Gramps Morgan, Nitra B, Ear Supply, Dexter Daps, and Burner Boy. It's the 25th edition of the St. Kitts Music Festival from June 22nd to June 24th at Warner Park. An experience like no other. Tickets are now available at stkittsmusicfestival.com.
Have you seen that post about Kayla in Snapchat? Lol, too funny.
What is funny about them spreading lies?
You can be so uptight. It's all in good fun.
It's only funny when it's not about you.
I heard it's true. Plus, they have video with her and 2 guys from my class.
Look, stop it.
Don't tell me what to do, baby sister. You can be such a pain.
Pain or not, stop saying those things about my friend. She's hurt enough as it is.
This is too good not to share.
Give it to me.
Mom, tell Lisa to give me my phone.
I don't care.
Give it to me.
No, she's in the hospital. That stupid video and all those mean things you all have been saying got to her. She tried to kill herself. So no, I won't give it to you.
Are you being cyberbullied, or do you know someone who is engaging in cyberbullying? Don't keep silent. Talk to a teacher, guidance counselor, your parents, or a trusted adult who can help. Break the silence. Remember, reporting is not snitching. This message is brought to you by UNICEF, UK Aid, Crime Stoppers, and this station.
And we are back, and we've got Traffic Talk coming up in just about a minute or so. It's 8:29. And in the meantime, let us chat here. Okay, so let me see now.
Hurricane season is around the corner. We're just under 1 month away. I hope everybody is doing what they're supposed to or thinking about, preparing. I know some people are like, not gonna happen, but, just prepare just in case. because it's way too hot outside. That's all I'm going to say. It's way too hot outside.
It is. And, last week, we had a heat wave, was it like last 2 weeks or so?
Listen,
And
has it not been since like mid-April until now?
Something
honestly?
like that.
Okay.
But you always know when the tide has turned, temperature-wise, when, when, let's say December starts and you start turning on the hot water, right? You start showering in hot water and stuff, and you're avoiding cold water for like 3 months. And I think I was using hot warm water up to about a month ago, and then.
Really?
Yeah. Why?
Because there was no need to. It was cool enough, but not cold. So you didn't really need to use hot water.
No, but my water comes in really cold.
Okay.
Yeah, but I stopped.
Listen, you shouldn't be doing anything hot right now.
Yeah, I know. Trust me.
Heck,
no, it's like
if I didn't have to drink anything hot or eat anything hot, I wouldn't, because
it's like heaven right now. The cold water. So we actually turn off the water heater during the summer months. So I'm probably gonna turn it off today.
Well, yeah, we don't need anything hot in terms of hot water when showering anymore, because it is.
I'm telling you.
Ridiculously hot. And the real feel is even hotter. So it's very humid. Even though it might only be 86 degrees, it feels like 93.
In fact, let me see what what the temperature for today is. Okay, let's see. It says today's forecast is it's 86 degrees. Well, that's going to be the high. I'm looking for the real feel. I have 2 weather apps. Okay, that's the weather channel. Let me get AccuWeather, because that's the one that I usually use. So we have traffic talk coming up in a sec, and the officer has just arrived. So we're gonna.
It's 84 degrees according to mine right now.
84. Yeah,
it's 84.
Wow. And
the real feel says 93. I have 93.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's hot.
Okay.
That's really, really hot.
Okay.
So for those who are outside and you have to do stuff, maybe you're into construction or you're a landscaper or something like that, just make sure you have some water, a lot of water.
A sombrero.
A sombrero. A really wide brimmed hat. If you do feel like, I don't feel so well, step out of the sun. Of course, it's probably not going to, go away that quickly. But take care of you. If you don't feel like, everything is feeling right, just step out of the sun and cool off. Yes, cool off.
Okay. And with that, let's go hear from our sponsor for Traffic Talk, Caribbean Alliance, and then we can have Traffic Talk. We're coming right back.
Found the sound 98.9 Win FM.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Be careful on the road. Don't make it an episode. Attention all drivers, I'm begging you to slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, down. Too many stunt drivers on the road, man. fire day. Driver, what's your emergency? It's better late than never. So why all the hurry? Speeding is delayed.
And it's time for Traffic Talk, brought to you by Caribbean Alliance Insurance. It's 8:35, and we have Officer Henry. Good morning, officer. How are you doing?
Good morning, Jamson. How are you?
I am doing good. Did you have a good weekend?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I can tell.
The big smile on her face.
Good morning to also the female host,
Sharon.
Sharon.
Yes.
Okay.
You
Good
don't know
morning to you
Sharon?
as well. She knows me. We had a whole
the name.
conversation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not the name.
Okay.
We had a whole conversation last week. Anyway, so what do you have on the table for us today?
I'll be talking about the driver's license. The driver's license. That's each class of driver's license.
Okay.
And the type of vehicle each class is used. And these tests are done by the Vehicle License Authority. So we have examining officers who are based at the traffic department who takes persons on driver's tests, and these persons are ex-police officers. They used to do it while they were serving, and now they retired. They came back as examining officers, so they know what they are looking for. We have Class A. A driver license which shall entitle the holder thereof to drive any motor vehicle with a registered tier weight of 2 tons or less, but shall not include an agriculture tractor or motorcycle. So this does mean that because you have a license, you can drive a motorcycle. No. We also have Class A auto, which shall entitle the holder thereof to drive any motor vehicle with a registered tier weight of 2 tons or less with an automatic transmission. So if you have an auto A, you cannot drive a standard vehicle, but shall not include an agriculture or motorcycle again. Class B, which shall entitle the holder thereof to drive any vehicle with a registered tier weight of 4 tons or less, but shall not include a motorcycle or an agriculture tractor. Well, we don't really have tractors now because we don't we don't have sugarcane now.
Right.
But persons use agriculture tractor when we have different carnival and them things. Class C. This entitled the holder thereof to drive any motor vehicle with a registered tier weight exceeding 4 tons, but shall not include an agriculture tractor, nor any motorcycle or any heavy construction equipment, and it shall include a truck tractor in combination with semi-trailer, regardless of the registered weight. Class D, driver's license, which shall entitle the holder thereof to drive an agriculture tractor. So once you have a Class D, you can drive an agriculture tractor, but nothing else.
Okay.
For a Class E, which shall entitle the holder thereof to drive any heavy construction equipment. So if you have a Class E, you can drive heavy construction equipment.
But is it that someone who maybe, let's say someone who works for, say, Contact, driving those big trucks, isn't it that maybe most of those people do have an A license? So,
yes.
Because, it's unlikely. So there is no, you don't give leeway for, let's say, for example, someone happens to get a D license and maybe they never got around to driving a car, but, they got a job, maybe it's their first job, so they learn to drive the truck first. You don't give leeway so that they can drive a car? I'm not saying they should get a license, but
remember, D is for tractor.
Yeah, I understand, but like a tractor or one of those say ready mix concrete, those big trucks. So what I'm saying is, if someone has one of those heavy equipment licenses, don't you give them the leeway to drive, say, a regular car?
Yes.
Because okay.
Yes, no, a D. D is only for tractor.
Oh, okay.
Yes. We have F now, which is an all type, we'll call it. But you must have A, B, C, D,
Oh, I get
E,
it. Okay.
or M.
M?
Yes, which is for the motorcycle.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. I understand
Yes.
now.
But you cannot have an all type unless you have these 5 classes. You can't just come and say you want an F license.
You have to actually
Have
go-
the A,
okay.
the B, the C, the E, or the M.
Are they
and M.
are they written
On the
tests
driver's
for the other?
No. You just
Okay.
come for an upgrade.
Okay.
You only do one you only do one written test to get the P or the A.
Okay.
And if you want to upgrade now, you come back and you come in the vehicle that says the ton. So
Okay.
you can't come for a D and the ton is on the 4 tons. You must go with the weight of the vehicle that the class specified.
Okay. I think I got that. Because I thought they were exclusive, as in like so. But what you're saying basically is that if you have a D, it assumes it kind of includes A, B, C, D, something
For the
like
F.
For the F, not the D.
that. Oh, the F. Sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes.
the F. Yeah. Okay. All right.
So we're joined now by the inspector, which will carry on from where I left off.
Morning, Inspector.
Good morning, sir. I'm a bit late as I was caught up in the traffic. We had an accident there in Trinity where a vehicle overturned.
Oh.
So the traffic was all tied
The
up.
driver is okay.
I would have a follow-up after.
Okay.
All right. As Sergeant Henry would have mentioned, we are educating the general public and drivers on the different classes of driver's license and the classes required to drive whatever vehicle. So Class L, this driver's license will shall entitle the holder thereof to operate a motor vehicle for the purpose of learning to drive. So you would see the instructors driving around and they have their red plates on top. That is for persons who are learning to drive. And for you to learn to drive, you must have a permit. And the instructor also must have that instructor license. We have the Class M driver's license, which shall entitle the holder thereof to drive a motorcycle. Also, you can have a permit as well to drive a motorcycle. And you can obtain that permit at the age of 16. Class P driver's license, which shall entitle the holder thereof to drive any motor vehicle with a registered tier weight of 2 tons or less, but shall not include any agriculture tractor or motorcycle or any vehicle transporting any person for compensation or reward. What this is saying is that you cannot drive a public service vehicle, which is a passenger bus. You cannot drive a taxi. You cannot drive a GT with a Class P. Compensation or reward is that you are paying. So you have to get your license upgraded to at least a Class A to drive any public service vehicle. We have also the Class P Auto driver's license, which shall entitle the holder thereof to drive any motor vehicle with a registered tier weight of 2 tons or less with an automatic transmission. What this is saying, you cannot drive a manual or what we term a standard vehicle with a Class P Auto. You have to keep driving an automatic driver's license. As Sergeant Henry indicated, if you want to drive anything above, you have to come and get an upgrade to do that. We also have the Class I, as we would have indicated earlier. This is for persons who, like instructors, to teach people to drive. And this license is issued to the holder of a Class A, B, C, D, E, or F. And this license authorizes him or her to occupy the seat beside a learner driver for the purpose of giving instructions in driving the motor vehicle. Now, as Sergeant Henry clearly stated, each class of vehicle goes by tonnage. For example, for Class A, to get a Class A driver's license, you must come in a vehicle that weighs 4 tons or over. A ton is 20 to 41. So if you say 4 tons, you do the maths. You multiply 4 times 20 to 41, and you would get the weight for that vehicle. Likewise, for the Class B, It's a 8 tons. You multiply 8 times 2241, you get the required weight for that vehicle. Also, for the Class C, which is 10 tons, you do the maths, and so you come and you get your upgrade. However, we would have recognized that persons, your driver's license, when you go for your driver's license, you probably had upgrades, and so you would see Class P, A, B, C. What we intend to do is, as you know, the A would override the Class P, the B would override the Class A, the C would override the Class B. And of course, you would only get one license on your driver's license display. Instead of having A, B, C, D, whatever, you'll just have the higher class license. And as she indicated as well, to get a Class F, you must master all those classes. However, if you have a Class A license and you have you want a motorbike license and a license to drive like a forklift, you must come to have that upgrade, and those licenses will be displayed on your driver's license, as motorbike is totally different to a Class A, and likewise for the Class E. However, for you to obtain that motorbike license or Class E, you must do the written exam, providing that you don't have any license before.
Let me ask a question. The instructors, is there a test that instructors have to take before
Yes.
they? Oh, really?
Yes, we have instructors license
Okay.
test.
So, and are there, just as we have people who teach regular vehicles, do you actually have people who teach the heavy equipment?
Yes.
So they have to have like a F and an
Yes.
I. So like a F and an I type thing.
Yes, to carry someone to
Okay.
death. But no person who is on the age of 17 years shall be granted a Class L license. So if you're on the age of 17, you can't get a learner's permit to go and drive a vehicle. The permit that you can get when you're 16 can only use for a motorcycle. Yes. If you're over 17, then you get a permit and you go and learn to drive a vehicle, a car. Yes.
Well, let me ask you. I remember when I was in my teens, I had a friend that I went to high school with. She was maybe a year or two behind me, but I remember, and she was from Canada, right? So she used to come, and I remember she used to drive her dad's car to school sometimes, and she wasn't 18 yet. Is it that you guys allow people?
No.
So she was doing it illegally,
Right.
is what she's trying to say.
Sure.
She was doing it illegally. She just didn't get caught.
Okay.
Yes.
We have 2 calls coming in. You ready to take calls?
Sure.
Okay. Traffic Talk, you're on the air. Go right ahead.
Yes. Good morning,
Hi, good
everyone
morning.
in the studio.
Good morning.
Jam stuff.
Hi.
Please. The volume that you start to speak with, please maintain it until you stop. Before you reach the end of your conversation, you're lowering on your volume to low. Okay? Keep that up.
Okay.
Thank you very much. And my question to the police them there. I heard the last police said that there's an accident around Trinity. Well, accidents come in many ways. Mechanical and overturn comes if you fall off the road. If you drop over the edge of the side of the road, you turn over, or speed. One who going slow cannot turn over on the flat. Now, there was an accident over Frigate Bay before Sunday. And I was told that the number plate of that vehicle was removed. So I want to know if that person who moved that number plate from that vehicle, if they should get a ticket for not having a number plate on a vehicle on the government road. And that vehicle belongs to the government and is one of the police who drives the Prime Minister turn over the vehicle. And I would like to know why that number plate should be removed from that vehicle at that accident. I will listen the rest of the year. Thank you very much. You all have a good day.
And so, same to you. Okay. No calls at the moment. So callers, keep your calls coming for the officers. 466-0989, 662-0989, and 762-0989.
Caller for the last caller there. Nothing is wrong if a person remove their number after the police have already dealt with the accident. Nothing is wrong with the driver or the owner to remove the number plate while it is being towed.
Okay.
Okay, that answers that question. Again, the numbers are 466-0989 or 662-0989. If you have a question for the
good officers.
The good officers.
Okay. You talked about you were talking about the instructors. So who teaches the heavy equipment people? Well, okay, explain to me what's different about the heavy equipment instructor test versus in the sense of what makes it different.
We do not have a heavy equipment test.
Well, not heavy equipment, but I mean, I'm talking about the classes that
have to come and do a written exam to teach persons. But for you to teach a heavy equipment to someone, you must have that class F.
Yes, that's what I was wondering. But I was just wondering what are some of the kinds of questions that would be on a test like that.
I won't be able to say because I am not an examining officer.
Okay.
I don't know what they look for. But we have this thing now, if you go for a driver's license test, they have the different fields that they'll tell you what you pass and what you fail on. So when you finish, when you complete that test, you get it in your email. So you can see what they downgrade you for or what you pass on.
And what you probably need to improve upon.
Yes.
Okay. So the person who is doing the test, well, once they teach the person how to drive, say, a D class to get a D license. Then they go on the road to then demonstrate that they can.
Remember,
get
the D
license
is for tractor.
Sorry, okay, so not the D. The C class. Say the C class.
Yes.
So then you go on the road to prove that you can actually drive it and then get the license?
The instructor can take you.
I mean, the examining officer. Mm-hmm.
Yes, well, the examining officer go with you in the vehicle, also with the instructor. Mm-hmm. So it's three of you in the vehicle. And if you do whatever and you're competent, then you'll pass. In their view.
The reason I'm asking all these questions, I find, especially the bigger vehicle, I find this very interesting. So in the case of, say, a tractor, I guess they'd have to take you on the road. Plus, maybe you have to do some off-road stuff as well.
For most of the heavy equipment, they do them off-road.
They do them off-road,
yes.
Okay.
And also some of the drivers already had license, so they're just going for an upgrade. So you might find a person with a Class B, he want to drive, for a Class C license, those heavy construction that carry the
boulders and stuff like that.
And the cement. Mm-hmm. So normally they would just go for an upgrade, so they were required to do a written exam. And so, normally they would have the necessary skills, but to prove that they could handle that type of vehicle on the road with that weight, they have to be tested.
Yes, that's why I asked that question. Okay, we have two calls coming. Traffic Talk, you're on the air. Hello, Traffic.
Hello, good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
Okay. Monday.
Could you keep it brief? We have a lot of calls.
Calling you. Yeah, I was trying to find out, right? Suppose you have a neighbor and they have some damaged vehicles. You can't make them move them and so because they really using them. There's not no mechanic shop there, but it's their land. They get it from where they buy it, I get it from the government. But there's a neighbor, and now another neighbor want to move in. But the record thing, they look so wrecked there. There's no way they can move on some and ring, Kind of looking good. You're going to live there now. You're going to get a fear in you like one night you're going in your place, somebody could be hiding out in them attack you. I think you should work on it, Be settled because it ain't look good at all. You're not living there's no mechanic place there. is your land here, but I don't think it's right, being as it's a residential, up thing, residential. You ain't supposed to have them there. You know, don't let down Trafalgar. Some other place in the country where you really ain't noticing by the seaside when you pass. I think you should, give me an answer about it and let me hear what you think. Okay, Miss Henry?
Yes, Carla. If the land belongs to the person and they prefer to put the vehicle there to have it on the government road, because remember, if it's on the government road and it's not licensed, we can tow that vehicle. So if you put it on the land because maybe you're waiting for some kind of part or whatever, it's your property, we give you permission to do that because it's your land, it's not on the government road, especially if it's not licensed. So it's better to put it there than to have it be towed, and it can be used again.
Also, once it become, once it start to road and start to live there, then is where the health department would have to chip in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's 8:56. We have about 4 minutes left, so you guys can. Let's take one more call. There's a call coming in. Traffic Talk, you're on the air.
Miss Henry, thanks for your answering. You know, it's like a health hazard because it's mash up, as the lady just said a while ago. You could pass rodents, there's covering over with this and all them there. There's nobody there, the person in here heard who the land belongs to. But somehow they would get them maybe by a family member put them there. So it's not looking right. Because it's upstairs scale residence. That is not done by, so where nobody really a pass and a thing.
Okay,
it's
Colin.
right in the area, so I think it's something to look into. The person said complain to the health department, but they does not know about it because what happened? He had an older gentleman with you, and he also on to these things, but I don't know what happened to the new officer. They got now, like they don't care, they don't who complain a million times, Then I study you, unless you call it Miss Henry or someone.
Okay, caller. Okay, caller.
Caller, that is noted. I'll come and check it out for you. I know what you're speaking about.
All right.
Okay.
She's gonna
So so you guys have 3 minutes to wrap up.
No person shall drive or employ any other person to drive a public service vehicle unless the provision of Section 7 of the Public Service Vehicle drivers are complied with. As the inspector said, if you're driving for hire or reward, you must have a Class A license. You can't have a Class P and go to drive for hire or reward. And remember, you must be on that person's insurance. Because if you're not on the insurance and you're driving, you get in an accident, nothing there for the person who been that injured. So you make sure that this person is on the driver's license. Also, you have the relevant class to drive a public service vehicle.
Okay, I'll just repeat what Sergeant Henry just said in some other words. No person shall employ or permit another person to drive on any road a motor vehicle of any class or description unless such other person so employed or permit, as aforesaid, is the holder of a license authorizing him or her to drive a motor vehicle of that particular class of description.
Sounds good. So I guess that's going to do it for Traffic Talk today. We got to say thank you to the officers and to our sponsor, Caribbean Alliance Insurance, and we will see you guys next week.
Have a good one.
Thanks.
Be careful on the road. Don't make it an episode.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
So who you left the kids with tonight? Nobody. They're big enough to take care of themselves. Girl, you mad? Junior only 7 years old. And suppose something happened to the baby while you're out here? My mother was leaving me home by myself since I'm 5. He can handle it. Nothing gonna happen. This don't feel right. Call and check on them. Look, I work hard all week. I deserve this break. Besides, they're good. Hello?
Leaving underage children at home by themselves is child neglect. Need support? See if another family member or a trusted neighbor can help. This message brought to you by UNICEF, UKAID, Crime Stoppers, and this station.
Enjoy the convenience of getting all your documents in one place. At the TDC Copy and Print Center on 4th Street in Basse-Terre, we do just that. We offer document formatting, graphic design, and copy and print services. Our team of professionals truly understand all your needs, whether it be administrative, professional, academic, or personal. You bring it, we deliver it with quality every time. Visit the TDC Copy and Print Center today in the TDC Mall on 4th Street in Basse-Terre or call 465-2511. Your copy and print specialists are waiting to serve you.
Well, it's 2 minutes after 9 o'clock, and that we just had traffic talk. And once again, thank you to our sponsors, Caribbean Alliance Insurance. And I don't know if you just saw that article I sent you from the BBC. The headline says, St. Kitts and Nevis is now totally free under King Charles III, says PM Drew. I'm still trying to figure out what exactly that means, because Charles had said at one point last year at the Commonwealth Leaders Conference, he said, I want to say clearly, as I have said before, that each member's constitutional arrangement as republic or monarchy is purely a matter for each member country to decide. Let me see. St. Kitts and Nevis were the first Caribbean islands that English colonizers permanently settled. Locals still refer to the Jewel Island Federation as a mother colony. Really? Do we? And while he said, let's see. I'm trying to get. Okay, I do believe that King Charles. This is something that a local tour person said. I do believe that King Charles is going to do something positive about past injustices. I'm very confident, as I've said. I've met him. Okay, I don't know what he's basing that on, but I'm still trying to find the bit that references the headline. I can't seem to find it anywhere. Someone just sent it to me, actually.
Clickbait.
Huh?
Maybe it's just clickbait.
Probably.
You know.
Yes. So as everyone knows, we had the Prime Minister taking a delegation along to King Charles's coronation on the weekend, and that included the Governor General, the King Charles's representative. Mm-hmm. So yeah, let us see. It's 4 minutes after 9 o'clock. And if anyone wants to give us a call, if there's anything you guys want to talk about, you can give us a call and we can chat. And apparently, so I don't know if this was the one you're referencing, but there was an earthquake in Antigua yesterday as well.
Okay, so see, I actually went back because I made a note of what I saw because it was my off day, and I came across several posts from the UE Seismic Center talking about earthquakes, little earthquakes that we had, and I actually made a note of it because when I saw one post, and then I was scrolling through my Facebook feed and I saw another one, and then I saw another one. I'm like, okay, wait, what's going on? So I actually then messaged someone and actually put everything together in terms of what I saw. So let me go back in my chat. Okay, so what I saw at the time from last Thursday, 3 earthquakes in the region today. 12:30 a.m. off Antigua, 3.6. A 3.7 close to SVG at 10:24 a.m.
Wow.
And a 3.7 at 10:23 just off the Trinidad coast. And it just so happens after I sent that message, I saw another one saying there was another earthquake. And it was again a 3.7. And I'm like,
Oh my
so
God.
3.7 is like an average, I guess.
I'm just seeing them.
Yeah, so because I follow them on Facebook. So.
Dominica, St. Vincent, Antigua. Wow.
Yeah, so I'm like, And again, we understand completely that we are, on tectonic plates, and they move, they shift from side to side or slide off, as the case is sometimes. So you get a movement here, it might create a movement further down. We understand that. But I don't know. I'm no seismologist, but if I see 3 or more earthquakes in the region on a day, it just causes me to raise an eyebrow. That's all.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier.
Just raise an eyebrow.
I mean, I don't want to say it, but
no, don't say it. No, we understand where we live. We are going to have threats. And it's like the PSA said for the earthquake. She ain't gonna call you and say, I come in Tuesday, 2 o'clock. She ain't gonna call you and tell you that, right? So we know where we live. We can only react when there is an earthquake. So it's not like you can prepare for it. Maybe you have a go bag, the same way you pack something for hurricane season, which is around the corner, June 1st. But other than that, it's a reactive thing that happens when we do get an earthquake. So, but we're not going to say what we expect or don't expect. We're not going to go down that road because none of us are ready for that, period. With the hurricanes, we can prepare in advance, but all the preparation in the world can't really stop what might be coming, Just be prepared as you can. Have an exit strategy if you need it. We all know that in the middle of a hurricane, you do not go outside. You wait until if the eye is going to be passing over where you are, the island, because sometimes, depending on the passage, it skirts, it'll probably be off the coast and you're not going to get any kind of reprieve to even go anywhere else. So there's that as well.
I mean, we just have to
just prepare. You don't know what that preparation will, actually take you in terms of, well, I planned for A and not B.
Yeah.
So I guess have a plan A, B, and C,
Yeah, it's just that we can't run from the obvious.
No.
Like
I said to my friend,
probable.
We can't practice levitation. So, we just deal with it. Just deal with it.
So, and back here in St. Kitts, local workers given priority for jobs at new housing development. But let's get these calls. We have some calls coming. Caller, go right ahead. Island T. Okay.
Oh, they're gone. Sorry about that, caller. If you like, you can call us back.
Hi, caller. Go right ahead.
Good morning, Sharon.
Morning.
Good morning, Trevor.
Hey, what's up?
Well, I grew up here in the old people. I know in old people state, right? So whenever the sun was very hot, they said, well, you see all this hot sun, we're going to get earthquake.
Which is not a thing, but yes, that's what they said.
Yeah, this is what they
said. Had nothing to do with earthquakes.
But they said nothing scientific to it. Coincidence then.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's mostly hot around here.
So with all of that lot of hot sun we have nowadays, and these are occurring.
Yeah, but look at it this way. It's mostly hot around here, so
it's
chances
always
are...
Yeah.
It was hotter than usual, man.
It is hotter than usual, but again, the heat of the sun doesn't have anything to do with, tectonic plates
old people them that. If we believe it,
I mean, it's
but the Lord have mercy on us, though. All of us.
Indeed.
I beg him for mercy all the o'clock, eh? So I beg the Lord, please, have mercy. We can't take it. we got nowhere to run. You know, so my heart goes out to all of us, and we have to be on our guard. All right, then.
This
okay,
is true.
that's for calling.
Yes, yeah, that was a great
definitely
call.
be on your guard, and I guess prepare as much as you can. Although, you know, what you're actually going to get, you might not be prepared for, but yeah.
Oh, man. I always think about it, and, you know, I know you don't like when I bring it up, but...
What?
The fact that we're probably...
No, that thought I said don't say that.
See? Exactly.
Don't say.
Okay, so I'll change the subject.
Yeah.
St. Kitts and Nevis Housing Minister Dr. Jeffrey Henley confirmed that 99% of the workforce on a new multi-million-dollar housing project will be locals. Last week, the NHC signed a contract with East Coast Housing Development to build 2,400 affordable smart homes over a period of 4 years. Smart homes, really. At least 600 homes will be built per year on lands allocated by NHC or personally owned. Oh, that's great. I think that's a nice twist there. So if you can have your land and you can decide to use one of the designs. That's interesting. Let me see what else it says. Where is it? Okay, so 99% of the workforce for the development will consist of local contractors, civil engineers, electricians, plumbers, carpenters, surveyors, and so on. The chairman of NHC, Sean White, has met with the Contractor Association to gather their needs and concerns. A one-bedroom house is projected to run as low as EC 111,000. A two-bedroom is expected to cost around 213,000, while a three-bedroom is 297,000. The minister said financial institutions would provide low-interest mortgage loans to qualified applicants. Hanley noted all homes will be equipped with a refrigerator, stove, and solar water heater. Yes, so from tomorrow, St. Kitts and Nevis residents and nationals will be able to apply for the homes from tomorrow. So what date was this? This was dated 21 hours ago, so that was yesterday. So that means today you can go and sign up for one of these homes. Here's my thing, though, about this. We don't exactly have a lot of land, so I am thinking if you're going to be spreading out these subdivisions, you're talking about 2,400 homes. Even if they build half of those and they're spread around, I'm thinking it should be a mix of detached and apartment buildings, like low-rise, mid-rise, high-rise, because
it could be.
We really have to be logical and practical. We don't have a lot of land. We're not Guyana or you know, some place that is underpopulated and has tons of land. You know, I think that some of these housing units should be apartment buildings. I don't know what the callers think. You can have a mix of, you know, you
Probably.
can have condos.
Probably.
You know, just, you know, they could be nicely appointed. You have and then the thing is, when you build up, you have more space for parking and stuff like that. You have more space for homes.
True. And smart homes is really the way to go,
Yes.
honestly, because solar, harnessing the solar power for sure,
Exactly.
because we live in the region where it's tropical and we
Yes.
get lots of sunlight. So, of course, you know, bringing your utilities down by using solar power would be great. I hope they also have, oh, there's a caller. Okay, caller, go ahead. Good morning.
Yeah, it's me again. Now, when I heard that announcement, I made a similar suggestion. So in terms of land, I would like to see a land use plan. They have to produce a land use plan, because you have to plan for different uses of the land. We're talking about agriculture, tourism. You follow what I'm saying? So therefore, to me, it is impractical to say you're going to put down 2,400 houses as separate entities. And I suggested that they do most of them apartment, maybe 3-story. I don't know if you want to go higher. Some people thought that I was criticizing and I didn't want. We got to be sensible.
Practical. We have to be practical.
Yeah, and sensible.
Yes.
Another thing, all of the things will go to the bank. most likely they're targeting National Bank again. I hope people understand that it's not NHC where you don't pay. It therefore mean if you really want a house, start to save your deposit. Because the bank is not just going to hand you the house like that. You have to qualify to get it. So this is not a case where the minister give you and you don't pay.
But to be fair, Ms. Henry, even in those instances where, let's just for the sake of actually saying it, the minister did say, okay, you say you wanted a house, here's your house. How does that entitle you to keep it and not pay anything at all? How do you rationalize?
That seems to have become the culture around it.
I understand, but how do you rationalize not even putting
I know not. I can't reason ignorance,
so, I mean,
because look at it.
The homeowner is the one to blame.
It don't make no sense. If somebody go to the way to say, well, allocate one to you, you're duty bound to do what you can to pay. But when you pay nothing and you have NAC owing over 12 million now, according to the minister, Dr. Honorable Jeffrey Hanley. You already have all this outstanding. It would be a fallacy to go the other way. Now, when they started it under the last government, saying Hamilton said go to the bank, was one big thing. Oh, it's like poor people to get house. So I am explaining to the poor people, the house will be going to the bank. The bank could repossess them because you don't have to vote for the bank. And I think that's a better idea. The only thing, though, I think I don't want all to go to the same bank.
But notice it said various financial institutions, so I'm assuming they're going to spread it around. I mean, because obviously,
I hope so.
Because obviously, different people will want to use different institutions. Some people might want to use a credit union.
Because not everybody has an account with National or FCIB.
Go and start. What I'm saying, if you know you want one, start some saving now. If I look at that 4 years, First, let's get to 10%.
I like what you're saying. I agree. And actually, it's good that I read that, but it didn't register the same way until you mentioned it.
But it's not a new thing, though, because the Cara Festa homes, those were also under National Bank. And you have to, I'm not going to say jump through hoops, but there were certain requirements that was needed before you actually acquired the house. So you had to make sure you had all
the bank usually asks for at least a 10%.
Right, and
don't permit. So I'm saying, if you know you need one, Sharon, start to save. You want one of the 3-bedroom one? Are you good?
I'm always saving, yeah.
Or Trevor, you good too?
I'm good. I think.
I good too. But I'm concerned about other people, you know what I mean?
Right.
They might be saying, oh, well, I'm going to get one. It's going to the bank.
But,
and let me correct something Mr. McMahon said last week about the bank and the land. Another thing about the land, a lot of the land that they are marking is not our land. It's part of the land for swap deal, which means that the government will have to purchase the land from the special purpose vehicle, right? Before they put the house on the land, they'll have to purchase it. That is what the last government had to do, to access, so they just can't go and build where they want to. Right? Now, he was saying that the bank is the government owned. The bank is not the government owned. The government owns 51%, and other individual investors own 49%. That does not give the government all the right and all. They just can't go and do as they like. And the new Banking Act says that the bank cannot hold real estate. That's why they put over there, the bank. And if the bank takes your house, it has to dispose of it or take it to court. So it isn't like, oh, well, when I get to pay, it's not like that. The new act says, when it comes to delinquent loans and whatever, the bank must take some action. So this idea that, oh, well, the land ain't gone anywhere. If the land hadn't gone anywhere, the government will not need to buy them back. They're just going to take them up. All right, then.
All right.
Okay,
thanks for calling
great. Yeah, that was a good weigh in as usual from Miss Henry. We value her expertise and her sage advice. You know what I'm saying.
I do. I understand what you're saying, but I'm just a little because you get a house, you don't have to preparate how.
Yeah,
Unless you actually want it, like
I
in a
never-
lottery. How?
But actually, I wanted to ask Miss Henry about this. I'm wondering how. Well, I did hear Jeffrey say at one point that he was going to. He referenced the fact that there were all these people who weren't paying, and he said, I think he said something about trying to set up a system where he had to insist people that they have insist to people that they have to pay, but work out something that they can.
Right.
So it fits their, I guess, their cash flow and stuff like that. Let's take another call. Caller, go right ahead. Hello, caller. Hi.
And good morning, Sherry. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Nice information at morning time. Nice update. And I believe that young people and some elderly people should listen to this program. Very educational. Whether you are here you all talk something different thing this morning about different part of the world. You got some people who don't read nothing and you got some people who don't study nothing. So you all is there to spread across these information to the lesser listen audience. Now listen, I'm agree with Miss Henry. I think back in 1993, I had the opportunity to get the house under the People's Action Movement. It was one of them Venezuelan house. And I think that the reason for that, Dr. Simmons did that, he put them in development bank because the people wasn't paying SAGE. At that time, I believe it was SAGE. I think NHC come in after Labour win. It's an NHC. But it's the same thing. Right?
Yeah, they just changed the name.
And a lot of people wasn't paying for the house them. And he put them in development bank. And I get one and I successfully work and pay for it. It didn't take me 10 years to pay for it. They give me 25 years. And it take me 10 years. And if people should just save the money and put something aside when they work, look at this project house. And I believe that what government is doing, right? I believe that they should put the houses in the bank for you. You know the reason why? Because NHC part of the government can't do what Sylvain said. And people ain't no one to pay. You understand? So put them in some private, bank. If you're bank in the bank, you put yours to that bank. If you're banking in Scotia, you put yours to Scotia Bank. If you're banking in National, you put yours to National. Or credit union or whatever bank you're banking in, your account into. Because it's going to be always problem when people get the house under NHC, a part of the government. All right, then, wonderful program. I'll continue to listen.
All right, thanks,
thank
caller.
you. Yeah. Okay, so yes, so he paid off his house on the 10 years.
And that's what you do. If you see a way where you can pay a little bit more than what you should, then you do that. And then on the months when you're like, you know what, I can't pay that much, at least you'll have that, in the back to kind of keep you afloat. So you're still above where you need to be.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's how you should do it, really and truly. Really and truly.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Oh, I just realized Candy had actually posted the Dominica, the thing that we saw. The Dominica. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, all this is rash of earthquakes. It's kind of worrying. But I'm as per your.
Yes, as per my instructions.
Yes.
You shall not say anything out loud. The whole power of the tongue thing. Yes.
I shall not.
Yes, you shall not. Because no. Just no. But yes, if you do happen to, if I think it works out for anything really in terms of making payments. You acquire something and making payments. If you know for a fact that you're having an issue, then speak with whoever your lender is and make arrangements and say, I can't do this anymore. I need to do this.
Yes.
But and I'm not even talking about a banking institution. You borrowed $200 from your friend. You can't pay back the $200 all at once. Call your friend and say, I can't do the 200 at once. I could give you 50 a week until I pay it off. Do that. I find communication when it comes to money, it just doesn't happen. And I don't understand
And it works.
why.
And it works because if you, in good faith, you communicate, things work out, right?
Yeah. Some people, you lend them money, you can't find them again.
Yeah.
Right? And people do that with banks as well.
I'm just wondering, I'm just really hoping, because the fact that the new system is going to have you getting your financing from the banks as opposed to NHC, I think that's a good idea. I'm just wondering what he's going to do with the backlog of people.
Well, again, I'm pretty sure they will have the opportunity to come in and they will explain to them, listen, you have to make payments. You might not be able to meet this particular amount. How about you do this instead? They work it out. And then when you say, okay, I'm able to do this amount as opposed to a higher amount, keep that promise. Caller?
Hello.
Caller, go ahead.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Hi, good morning, Jamsa.
Yeah,
good morning,
hi,
Sherry.
how you doing? Yeah.
Is there any provision in that agreement has been made for, let's say, someone would have had a lot of land and some arrangement would have been made to build a smart house on that lot of land?
Yes, it did say that it allows for persons with their own plot of land to partake in those housing designs. Yes, it does.
That's good, and I agree with Mrs. Henry's view that for the enormity of the project in terms of 2,500 houses, the spread of it would have been like, we see golf courses and so on, we're saying, wow. There were times when we're saying, well, I think it could take another golf course and so, but we know golf courses take up a lot of land.
And a lot of
so
water.
the spread of the houses would be vast. And so the concept of going up in the air is not a bad thing, but some persons would have had land and wanted to have their little own space. And so that's a good thing if that's a part of the arrangement.
Yes,
right, thanks for listening.
Thanks for calling.
I really hope, because I saw some pictures of some of the houses. I really hope there is a kind of fetish might be a strong word, but there is a kind of, okay, let me use fetish for want of a different word. Fetish for having your own, I understand, your own little castle, your own little plot of land in your house and all of that, but going forward, that's just not practical. And I really hope that this project is going to allow for that. I have to say it again. We're going to have to build some apartment buildings. So I
and
really
it's not
hope...
like they haven't done that before, It's just that...
No, but even 3 stories I don't think is enough. Especially in, let's say, suburban areas, in maybe built-up areas like Bastille and maybe Sandy Point and Cairn. It just might not be practical to be building all these separate homes. It's much more efficient, much more practical to build apartment buildings. It is what it is.
For somebody who is single and maybe looking to have their own space, that would be appropriate for them. Of course, you could always maybe... Hi, caller, you're on the air?
Good morning.
Morning.
Oh, hi. Good morning.
When we say that someone owns 51% of a company's shares, essentially that is you own the bank, okay? Because especially in our case, the government that owns 51% of the shares, they also has control over board appointments, or most of them, which, as we know, determine bank policy. So effectively, the government and by extension the public owns the bank.
Wouldn't it be more of a controlling interest?
Yes.
Majority,
yes.
But not necessarily ownership?
Right, okay, yes. I guess it's a case of semantics, yes. You are right. It's controlling interest, which for all practical purposes means that it can determine bank policy and the direction and the direction that the bank goes and what its relationship with the the clients. But that notwithstanding, I don't think that people who default on their payments are necessarily what we call in local parlance worthless. Okay? It is tied to things like how the economy is going generally. If, for instance, there's a downturn for whatever reason, be it COVID, be it whatever issue it is out there, and people's income is affected.
Which is why communication is key. Like I did say earlier, if you're at a place where what you were making before, you're not making now, for whatever reason,
Right.
then you go in and you communicate to the lender or the person that you have to make the payment to and say, I can no longer do A. Is there any leeway for me to do a B or a C? But to not make any payment at all and not communicate, I think that's unacceptable.
Yes, I agree. But you should also remember that one of the aims of something like a national housing corporation is to help the most vulnerable among us. They cannot just adopt the strict rules and regulations of, let's say, the commercial banking sector. Otherwise, a lot of people would be just priced out of that market. They just wouldn't be able to meet the requirements. I agree that the National Housing Corporation probably became too lax because of political involvement and, in the final analysis, if the Minister of Housing can just say, well, give such and such or so many people in the constituency houses regardless, that becomes the main aim, as opposed to getting NHC's accounts in order to help other people. Okay? And that is where I think the problem comes in. Now, washing your hands of it completely, I hope it's not going to adversely affect some vulnerable people. For instance, I noticed that you have 1 and 2 and 3 bedroom homes. That might be going into areas that the commercial, certainly when you get to 3, that's probably going into areas that the commercial market should really be taken care of, as opposed to low income, the government, which is supposed to be really looking after the interests of low income. So let's hope there's some match between the provisions of all these homes with economic development, making sure that we have jobs and investment in other sectors to be able to hold up the housing sector as well. Okay? And you mentioned the fact that you should have different options, because it's important that we don't, well, personally, I don't think it's particularly aesthetically appealing for the whole country to be inundated with these types of houses. It could almost end up being slum-like. So it's very important that the regulations and the development of these housing areas would be done in accordance with things like the rules that govern development.
So what do you
we don't want no slum areas, no more slum areas.
What do you think about the apartment building idea?
Yeah, that should be an option. That really should be an option. To me, and that should be, I think, the town lends itself to that. I think a lot of those homes on the Bay Road, for instance, I honestly feel that they should be demolished and put high rises. Well, not when I say high rises, something akin to the Gardens housing project. Give the people who live there now first preference in those, but beautify the area, make the area look more appealing. Right now, it just looks.
But isn't it time we
Shanty-townish.
Isn't it time we go beyond 3 stories? I mean, we know town. Room in town is at a premium, and the thing is, if you go up even more, you end up with more room for parking, which is a huge problem. Parking.
Well, that's true. The thing we're going up more though is, again, we're in an earthquake zone. Earthquake and tsunami zone. You don't necessarily want too high a density in those areas. Yes, you can build to withstand those disasters, but it's much more expensive. Okay, but definitely the way to go is up. All right, and make sure too that the nice thing about going up is that you leave space for greenery and those kinds of things, parks and parks and parking. It's high time we actually have some kind of a parking, a building designated for parking. Yes. High time, because and all of that involves a lot of planning, town planning, and so on. So sure, it's good to say we're going to build 2,400 homes. But there's a lot of things that should be happening at the back end. And I suppose it is happening. People are looking at these things. That should be looking at things like the drainage, the sewage, all those kinds of things. The increased water supply, 2,400
requirements.
Yeah,
water,
all those
internet,
the infrastructure that's required. So, there's a lot that's going to go into this, and I don't think even just one broadcast or one press conference is going to give us all the answers. It would probably take a series of them. But it's interesting to know that agreements have already been signed, which doesn't, I guess, leave a lot of room for maneuver. And it would have been nice, I think, if such a large project like this had been aired before the public in such a way to get their input and have all concerns addressed before it is actually rolled out. But it is what it is, I guess.
Yes.
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 All right. It is.
Thank you for your call.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, great. Okay, we're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna come back on the other side. Let's get some words from
Rams
and so on.
King Ocean, king of the Caribbean seas, announces king-size savings on shipments from Miami to St. Kitts. We have the best service and competitive rates on LCL and FCL cargo, including D&E containers, cars, heavy equipment, buses, boats, and barrels from Miami to St. Kitts. LCL pickup service anywhere in the U.S. Call local agents SL Horseman and Company Limited at 869-465-4086 or 869-662-5008 for further details. King Ocean's king-size savings on shipments from Miami to St. Kitts Nevis. King Ocean, king of the Caribbean seas.
Strapped for cash? Get Instacash. Payday late? Get Instacash. Have items new or used you don't need? Get cash for them at Instacash. We buy and sell quality new and used tools, electronics, jewelry, household items, and more. If you're strapped for cash, think Instacash. Sell an item for cash or buy an item. Ask about the convenient Instacash layaway plans and buyback options. Instacash is same-day cash, no credit checks, and guaranteed privacy. Get cash for your goods. Visit Instacash across from Caribbean Lotto in the Hospital Complex or call 465-0222 and 669-8390.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Magnum new labor charge up, and it means that the vibes look just like you.
I your name a call up. Can't you see that the hot girl just passed through?
Selector just all up. Can't you see that the new look just make news?
I saw step forward. No. What you gonna do? Magnum tonic wine. Brand new look.
Damn good wine.
Must be 18
older to drink, drink responsibly. Magnum.